guys, my name is Naguura and today I got a TLDR Season 4 dungeon guide for you. Today I'm going to talk about Grimrail Depot, which is the Worlds of Jenner dungeon. So it's a long time ago we played this dungeon, or I guess a lot of you never played this dungeon at all. It was mainly a normal dungeon and a challenge mode dungeon back then, so a lot of the strategies we did back then maybe are not going to be able to be applied anymore right now, but I'm mainly going to go over the abilities of the mobs and the abilities of the bosses, so you can really just kind of understand how everything works in a dungeon. And then afterwards, once we actually have the dungeon on the plus version, we will be able to figure out the best routes and figure out which mobs to deal with together and which mobs maybe to skip and not to deal with. So yeah, the dungeon itself is pretty easy to understand, and a lot of the mobs and a lot of the bosses have very minimal abilities. So yeah, let's get into it. And remember, I also have guides for all the other Season 4 dungeons, not just for the Worlds of Jenner ones. I also have guides for the Karasan dungeons and the Mechagon dungeons. So check that out on my YouTube channel if you're interested in that. And make sure to subscribe to get notified whenever I upload a new video. That'll be very nice. Thank you very much. And yeah, there we go. Let's get into it. And thanks for watching. At the start of the dungeon, you will encounter technicians, laborers, and overseers. The overseers have a frontal and a charge you need to dodge, and the technicians try to activate iron stars around the room. This needs to be interrupted or stunned, because if they activate them, it does heavy group-wide damage. Additionally, they also cast a chain lightning effect on random players that also stuns you. This cannot be interrupted normally, so save your stuns and knocks for this spell. Additionally, if you cannot interrupt all of those channels, you need to make sure to spread out, because it is a chain lightning effect, so it will chain throughout the whole group if you don't spread out. The first boss is Rocketspark and Borka. Rocketspark flies around the room and casts dodgeable rockets at players, while Borka occasionally casts Slam, doing AoE damage to the group and interrupting spellcasts. Once in a while, Rocketspark becomes untargetable and flies around. The tank needs to point Borka's Mad Dash at Rocketspark to bring the boss back down. Once one of the bosses dies, the other one enrages, so make sure to kill them at approximately the same time. A lot of mobs inside the train cards have similar abilities with two main themes. A lot of stackable debuffs, which is mainly something tanks have to look out for, and a lot of ground-targeted spells that need to be dodged, with the gunners having a frontal fire breath to watch out for as well. Cinderseers have to be watched out too, because they apply a debuff onto players, silencing them and pulsing AoE damage. The silence will be removed if you don't hit any other player with the pulsing AoE. The next boss is Nitrog. At first you will fight him in a small area. He will cast avoidable circles on the ground and additionally cast splash damage onto random players, so make sure to spread out. Once the boss hits 60% health, he will jump into his assault cannon. You have to finish off the assault cannon so you can attack the boss again. During this phase, the boss will fixate random players with his assault cannon and shoot at them. You need to use the various different structures in the room to line of sight this mechanic. He will also spawn various different mobs, the same ones you've encountered before in the train cards. Some of the mobs can be looted once they die. The grenadiers drop black rock grenades. You can pick them up by looting their corpses. Once you picked up a grenade, you can target the ground to use a grenade with your extra action button, and these grenades have 3 charges. You should try and focus the boomers with them, because once a boomer dies, it drops a Blackrock mortar shell. If you pick up a shell, you can use the assault cannons at the side of the room and shoot the boss's assault cannon with it, doing heavy damage. Once the cannon is destroyed, the mobs will stop spawning and you can finish off the boss. After the boss, you encounter some casters. The Farseers cast a lightning shield on themselves, absorbing damage and dealing damage to attackers. Make sure you interrupt this spell. Other than that, there's a lot of avoidable zones to dodge, lightning zones and arcane bombs. The last boss is Skylord Tovra. The most important thing on this boss is to dodge her freezing snare. She will throw a trap onto a player, and if you don't move out of it, you will be heavily slowed, making it incredibly hard to dodge all of the ground effects on this fight. The snare can be removed with immunities and buffs like freedom though. Outside of that, you just need to watch out for the lightning breath from the dragon, covering a large portion of the room in lightning pools. And the boss sometimes casts spinning spear into a random direction, shooting out a projectile in a straight line. Make sure to avoid that. Alright, that's it for the guide. I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope it was easy enough for you guys to understand. Remember, all the other guides for Season 4 Dungeons are on my YouTube channel as well, so check them out if you're interested. And I hope you like the Season 4 dungeons. I hope you get really high rating. Good luck with the rank 1 title this season. And yeah, we'll see you guys on stream. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice rest of your day. Goodbye.